What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to reality. Guys, today I have a real talk. I'm just going to get right into it, okay? Look, all of our lives, from the time we're born, all of us, by the law of averages, are surrounded by average people, average thinkers, mediocrity, people who are just trying to get by. And we have these people all around us. They are always talking about things in the same way. I've got to get it done so I can take it easy. I've got to work hard till Friday so I can relax. Don't go too hard. Don't forget where you came from. It's not that serious. You need to take it easy. These are the things that we grow up hearing. We hear them from our parents. We hear them from our teachers. We hear them from people that we look up to, unfortunately. And here's the problem with this. All of those things, because we hear them over and over and over again, become part of who we are and what we think and how we talk to ourselves. And I hear you guys and I see you guys talking about all these different things that make winning hard. People don't believe in me. People don't support me. Nobody wants me to win. People talk shit. All of these things are irrelevant. The only thing that is keeping you from where you want to go and who you want to become is your ability to recognize that you are your own biggest enemy. And the reason that you're your own biggest enemy is because for years and years and years, you were filled with mediocrity. You were filled with the vocabulary of people that lose, and your brain now talks to you in that same way. You worked pretty hard today. You deserve a break. You know what? You did good on your diet for 3 days. Cheat meal's not going to hurt you that bad. You know what? I'll start tomorrow. We'll start next week. We'll start on Monday. After the holiday. After that wedding, after that vacation, I'm going to get my shit together. And then when things are going good, you're working too hard. Don't forget to smell the roses. Don't forget who you are. That's an interesting statement, isn't it? Don't forget who you are. Who are you? What does that insinuate? What it insinuates is that you are an average. You're doing good. Don't forget where you came from. What the f does that even mean? What does that even mean? What does that mean? That you are supposed to be average? You are supposed to be like everybody else? Don't forget where you came from? Isn't that the whole reason you're doing all of this? Isn't that the reason you want to win? Isn't that the reason you're sacrificing and investing all of this time, energy, blood, sweat, tears, frustration, anger into creating this life that you desire so you can get the f away from who you are? That's why you're doing this. But we are filled everywhere we look with messages of average, messages of mediocre, messages of taking it easy from people who have never, ever done a thing in their entire lives. And I would suggest to all of you that if you don't want to turn out like them, you better become aware of their influence in your life. Because that little voice that you hear that tells you, oh, you worked hard today, you could skip your workout, we'll do double tomorrow, that is your enemy. It's not the people talking shit. It's not the people from your hometown or the people on Instagram or who you went to high school with or they don't believe in me. No, you. don't believe in you because you can't identify that you are your own biggest hater. You are the person that has the little voice on the inside that says, yeah, you know what? They're right. I don't think I can do this. Yeah, you know what? I do need a break. Yeah, you know what? I have been working pretty hard. And that's the voice that kills your whole life. And you're so unaware of it that you can't identify it. You think it's coming from over here or over there, when in reality, it's coming from deep inside of you because that's all you've ever heard. And if you want to change the outcome of your life, you're going to have to learn how to identify the voice inside of you that keeps you from doing the things that you're trying to do. All of us on the inside have two voices. We have a bitch voice, and then we have a boss voice. The bitch voice is the voice that's been crafted and formed and created by our environment over time. It is the voice that has listened to every critic, every naysayer, every bit of negativity, and then reminds you of it every time you are trying to do something outside of the realm of everybody else. It'll be the first one to talk. It's not your friends. It's not your girlfriend. It's not your boyfriend. It's not your wife. It's not your friend group that's talking shit. It's you. And you are blaming it on everybody else instead of controlling your internal dialogue and identifying the bitch voice and looking at him straight in his face and saying, you know what? Fuck you. I am going to do this work. I don't need a break. I am going to step the fuck up and do what I need to do. And when you start to identify the bitch voice and then start to defy it is when you start to make progress towards who you are actually meant to become. And the more that you silence that voice through action, the more progress you will make. The stronger your boss voice will become. When you have a strong boss voice and you have a weak bitch voice, the internal dialogue sounds completely different. It sounds more like this. Yeah, they can't do it, but I can. Yep, that guy's settled, but I'm not. Yeah, I probably could take it easy, but then I'm going to end up just like that dude, and I don't want that. So I'm going to go do the work. And the way that you make this transition from a very loud bitch voice to quieting it to a very loud boss voice that encourages you and pushes you and makes you better is through action. You have to understand that when your voice chimes up and starts talking you out of shit, that is your signal to act immediately. The minute you hear your bitch voice chime in, you need to get up and do the exact opposite of what it's telling you to do. If it's telling you to take a break, you go do double the work. If it's telling you, man, it's Sunday, you don't need to do this, you need to get the fuck up and do it. Every time you hear it, you need to take action because action is the only thing that will squash that voice permanently. It is the only thing that will get you to where you're trying to go because you're not just fighting the outside elements. You're not just fighting competition and the economy and the marketplace. That shit's hard enough. You're also fighting a lifetime of mediocre indoctrination that comes from every place you've ever been in your life. Nobody grows up around winners 360 degrees. It doesn't happen. If you're lucky, you might know one or two people who win big. Most people have never even met someone that has won big in life. And because they've never even met someone, they think it's impossible for them. And it's not. You just have to understand that just because everybody else has put limits on their life and everybody else has settled and everybody else has accepted their reality for what they are given, not for what they take, doesn't mean that you can't have a completely different life. You have to understand that this is in your control. All of the things that are going to create your ultimate reality come from things that you can control. And anybody who tells you different has never done anything. You can control what you eat. You can control what you drink. You can control how you move your body. You can control who you associate with. You can control the information you put in your brain. Those are the things that are going to get you where you want to go. And nobody can stop those things but you. Ultimately, what do you have to do to succeed? Well, it's very simple. You have to stop listening to outside elements, stop surrounding yourself with outside elements that only think in mediocre terms, that have long ago quit on what they could have become, and who you hang out with just because you think you're supposed to or because you did at one point in your life. There's not a motherfucker out here who wins big that surrounds himself with a bunch of mediocre people. It doesn't happen, and it's not optional. You have to cut it out. And then after you cut it out, you have to then audit your internal dialogue to, over time, remove their influence from yourself, which means every time that voice comes in, every time that says, oh, I wonder what they're going to think, or, hey, you're not very humble anymore, or, hey, remember where you came from, or, hey, and you think about the thing someone said to you 7 years ago that pisses you off. All of those things have to become part of what drives you. They have to become something that you silence through action. They have to become the switch that as soon as it's flipped, you are moving towards where you want to be. And when you become the person who can take the negative influence, the negative voice, the doubt, the frustration, the pain, the non-belief, and you can turn that into productive action, there is nothing and nobody on the planet who could stop you from becoming who you want to become. Everybody who says it's up to chance or circumstance has lost. You never hear someone who's winning tell you, oh, it was just I was in the right place at the right time. Oh, I don't know. I just fell out of the womb and I became rich. Okay? You don't have these situations for most people. Most people who have ever become the kind of people that you want to become have done it the exact same way I'm telling you. They take every word, they take every doubt, they take every frustration, whether it comes from them on the outside or more than likely you on the inside, they take that and they use it. They move, they act, they fight, they sweat, they bleed at the thought of mediocrity. And after a while, you don't hear it anymore. You don't hear the bitch voice anymore. The bitch voice goes away. And you become that version of yourself you've always wanted to become. So if you're wondering why it's so hard to win, if you're wondering why you have such a problem with it, it's not the circumstances. It's not where you came from. It's not how you were born or what color you are or this or that or the other, or somebody else had it easier. It's none of those things. It's that you can't identify that you are taking direction from a literal loser that has been implanted in you from all the other losers that you've been surrounded by your entire life. And your job is to kill that version of yourself so that only the strong one exists. And if you can do that, you can do anything.